is we're talking about your life, a miracle, and we're using, obviously, Jesus' life, which nobody's going to argue was a miraculous life, correct?
Correct.
His was a miraculous life. Everything, but we tend to have this idea that Jesus' life was miraculous because, well, obviously he's God and we're not. Yes, he was God. He never ceased to be God, but he was fully man. So he laid aside his divine prerogative to function as God. And now he's functioning as a man. And because he's functioning as a man as no man had ever functioned, completely dependent upon the Father, deriving what he was doing from the Father. So when the Father initiated whatever it was that he was wanting to accomplish through Jesus, Jesus then is experiencing the supernatural, the divine, the miraculous work of his Father. And that's the example here. You see, you and I also have a miraculous life, but we may be missing it because we've perceived the miraculous in terms of, well, maybe if I align my life perfectly to Jesus, maybe in that particular moment, maybe that I could see God do something miraculous. Not recognizing that we are in union with Christ, and as we simply live the normal Christian life, allowing the life of Christ to be the manifestation of our life, to allow for the character of Christ to be manifest through our behavior, that behavioral expression, regardless of how you might look at it, is miraculous. Stop thinking of you doing your own thing. As a Christian, you're in participation with the divine life of the Lord Jesus Christ and whatever you allow him to do through you. I don't care if you're washing dishes. I don't care if you're changing diapers. I don't care if you're peeling potatoes. I don't care what you're doing. That is the miraculous life of Jesus Christ. So who of us is willing to say that whatever seemingly insignificant, seemingly mundane activity or character expression that we may be engaged in, if in fact it is completely what the Lord Jesus is wanting to do at a given moment, who of us is going to suggest that that is not miraculous? Of course it's miraculous. You're experiencing the miraculous grace of God. You're experiencing the glory of God. You're expressing the character of God. Is that not a miracle? For a human being to participate with God, it's kind of miraculous. And that's the normal Christian life. So let me ask you, how do you let Jesus think through your thinking? How do you let Jesus, I like to use the word respond rather than react in your situations? And how do you let Jesus decide when you're making decisions? How's that possible? There's a union life. And so there's several examples of it, but the best example is probably the vine branch. So does a branch sit here and think about what the vine wants to do? Does a branch say, okay, I wonder how the vine wants me to think today? I wonder how the vine wants me to bear fruit today. I wonder how the vine wants me to make decisions today. See, that's kind of the way the Christian, when we talk about this, that's kind of what the average Christian processes this. So again, there's a union. There's no separation here. We are joined to the Lord. And so all the branch does, frankly, this is a study in all itself, is remains. It remains. It's connected. All right? To remain literally means stay put. Don't let your thinking wander out here and assume a responsibility that is just not staying put and simply allowing for the expression of Christ to be manifest through you. So to remain is to simply stay put. In other words, to just function with the normal flow of the sap of the vine coming through the branch, producing the fruit, and we're simply bearing what God is doing. You see? So the only responsibility that we have as Christians is to respond to what Jesus is doing. And as you and I respond to what he's doing, the result of that response is the miraculous working of God's grace through our lives. Then allows us to rely on this miraculous grace activity when in the moment we don't feel adequate. We don't feel like we have what it takes. But we realize we're not on our own. We're not doing our own thing. We're not independent selves. And that Christ is our life and he's also our ability. And so by faith, we make the choice to allow his character to be manifest in that decision at that moment. That is the miraculous working of Christ. Because it's the divine work of God in and through you. Your life is miraculous. How exciting is the Christian life? But we find ourselves at times kind of doubting, don't we? Our faith might waver a little bit and we might be prone to some unbelief. But once again, if we know we're loved and we depend on the one who loves us, then we are going to be receptive to him by faith, even though we're not sure what the outcomes are going to be. In other words, the Christian life is about experiencing the Christ life, allowing God to begin to be realized and experienced, of course, in places that we don't know what to do. That's why it's so miraculous. That's why you can't take credit for what just happened. Obviously, that's God. And God gets the glory for that. And we get the privilege of being able to participate with him in whatever he's doing in our lives in the given moment.